Hello, this is Ekaterina at MyMedPharm.info, a knowledge hub for medical translators and writers. Today we will look at how medical translators can benefit from the European Medicines Agency website. Several tips will be useful for medical writers too. Some of the treasures we'll encounter are in plain sight and some are hidden. After watching this video you will know where to find them all. And in the end I will show an upcoming update that will be especially helpful for translators. We will start with the home page. First, let's look at the upper left corner. It says, an official website of the European Union. If I click How do you know, I will learn that all official websites are located on the europa.eu domain. Remember this next time you verify a term or look for information on Google. Now let's go through the key sections of the home page, starting from the main menu of the website. Here is the medicines section, with information about medicines for humans and animals and about herbal medicines. The human regulatory section features various regulatory documents and describes different authorization procedures and applications. The veterinary regulatory section is out of scope of today's video because MyMedPharm.info is dedicated to human medicine. But you'll find lots of helpful information there if you work with veterinary products. The committees section lists all the EMA committees and working parties, describes their roles and presents their publications and other documents. The news and events section includes the latest updates and decisions of the EMA. The partners and networks section lists EMA partnerships and may lead you to valuable official resources with additional information on specific topics. The About Us section also includes some items relevant to translators that are cross-referenced at the bottom of the website, such as the glossaries. Under the main menu, you can open an additional menu with information on the current public health threats. It's helpful if you're working on a hot topic and need the latest updates. As an illustration, let's go to the Mpox section. We get a summary of the disease, the list of approved treatments and vaccines, summary of the EMA response to the Mpox outbreaks with links to additional information like a fact sheet and information on the ECDC website. ECDC stands for the European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control. At the bottom of the page, we also see the latest news, relevant related content, and links to the websites of the relevant organizations. Now back to the home page. Below the Public Health Threats menu, we see a slider with the latest updates. For example, you can read about the new veterinary medicines here. Then we have links to Find Medicines. We will go there in a couple of minutes, to the news and updates and the frequently asked questions. The FAQ is written in simple language for consumers and is available in all EU languages. You might find it a practical quick introduction if you are new to medical translation and healthcare regulations. Let's scroll down. We see the latest news and the upcoming events. Some events are offline and some are online. In most cases, you'll just need to enter your name and email to register for a free webinar. It's always helpful to receive information on medicines and regulations from the authorities firsthand. The EMA webinars are also a great resource of the industry standard language, especially for interpreting. Under the events, you will find a section for patients and carers. You can use the texts as example of patient-oriented language or plain language. Here you can also find links to the featured news and updates for healthcare professionals, animal health professionals, pharmaceutical industry, media and academia. You might find them helpful if you need to double-check a name or a fact for a translation project, or if you write for a medical media and newsletter or social media. Exploring every section of this website will make this video unnecessarily long, so we will focus on the key pages that are highly relevant and valuable for medical translators. If you think I missed an important section, let me know in the comments and I will make an additional video. The first section we will examine closely is Find Medicine. You can type your search request directly on the home page, but we'll open the search page to see what it offers. You can choose the type of medicines, for humans, for animals, herbal, or all types. Below you'll find the search tips and advanced search options. Under the search tips, you can read the disclaimer that not all medicines available in the member states can be found in the centralized registers on this website. The medicines that were authorized by national procedures can be found on the national websites. Let's click Check National Registers to open the list of the registers with their URLs. These websites offer product information and regulatory documents in the local language and can be a great source of approved terminology and industry standard language. Below you can also see how to download the data on medicines in Excel format and how to download the list of medicines for human use under evaluation. It can be handy if you're working with an investigational product. Here is a screenshot so that you can get a general idea of the layout. The list is also in Excel format and includes the international non-proprietary names and the indication summaries in English. If you're new to the regulatory field, you can also check the section What we publish on medicines and when to learn about different types of documents you can find on the EMA website. You can scroll this page down to explore updates in different therapeutic areas, the guide to buying medicines online, and other topics. Now we will return to the search. Click Medicines for Human Use and enter paracetamol. Surprise! The search has not returned any results. This might be because all paracetamol products are in the national registers, as they were approved long ago. Let's type ibuprofen. The website suggests many options while I'm typing, which means that we will get some results this time. Yes, we have 143 results. They include both web pages and documents. You can also filter the results according to your needs. The first two entries are web pages with product information. You can immediately see the authorized status here. It can be useful if you've opened the register to see whether a specific medication is authorized at the moment, or if you need to make a list of medications that are currently on the market. Below the ibuprofen Gen-Orf entry, you have the links to the PDF with product information, both in English and in other languages. But before we take a look at these PDFs, let's open the PDA entry and review the product information page. Here we also have the immediate notification of the authorized status. If the product is not authorized, you will see a red label. The overview is intended for patients. You can download the files in English and other languages to use as parallel texts. The product information, on the other hand, is mainly for healthcare professionals. If you are a translator or a writer, you will probably need the latter. EPAR here stands for the European Public Assessment Report. It's only available in PDF and it includes the prescription information and information for the patients. Let's download the file and look at its structure. The first part is called Summary of Product Characteristics. It's the approved standardized information about the medicine intended for healthcare professionals. You can see the official name of the medicinal product, the qualitative and quantitative composition, with the international non-proprietary name of the active substance. Section 3 shows the official name of the dosage form. For example, here it's the solution for injection, not solution for injections or an injectable solution. Section 4 shows the official therapeutic indications. The wording is especially important for medical writers and for translators localizing promotional materials. Then you can see the recommended dosing regimen and methods of administration. The list of contraindications, special warnings and precautions, interactions with other products, disclaimers for the use in pregnancy, the effects on fertility and lactation, the effects on the ability to drive and use machines. Here, these sections are marked not relevant, because the product is indicated for preterm newborn infants. Then you have the list of undesirable effects. The terminology is concordant with the MedDRA Medical Dictionary for Regulatory Activities. The frequency categories are also standardized. You should look for the approved translations in your language and not invent your own. Now let's go to section 5. It describes the mechanism of action and pharmacological effects of the active substance and its pharmacokinetics. Absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. This medication is for intravenous use, so there is no subsection about absorption. Some summaries of product characteristics include a very short overview of preclinical safety data, and it might be useful if you need to check a specific study and you need some leads to the original publication, like additional numbers or wording. The following section, however, can be of much more use to translators. It's called Pharmaceutical Particulars, and it lists all the excipients or inactive ingredients of the drug product. You will also find here the shelf life, storage terms, and, more importantly, the nature and contents of the container. So you can check the correct names of the packaging elements and the accessories, if any. After the precautions for disposal and other handling, you will see more official information, such as the marketing authorization holder, the number of the authorization, the number and the date of the authorization. Annex 2 is not of much use for translators, but it can matter in regulatory writing. Annex 3 includes the labeling and the package leaflet. The labeling section includes all the details that appear on the outer and inner packaging. The package leaflet has all the product information in plain language. Sometimes, product information includes illustrated instructions for administering the product. Remember that you will make the most out of this document as a translator, if you match it with the version in the second language. On the medicines page, we saw the services and databases section. Let's see what's offered there. So here we have a register of clinical trials in the European Union, the EMA account management, the electronic submission portal, and, importantly, the European database of suspected adverse drug reaction reports, that's Multilingual, the European shortages monitoring platform, catalogs of real-world data sources and studies, the IRIS system for handling product-related scientific and regulatory procedures with the EMA, the product lifecycle management portal, the Substance Product Organization and Referential Data Management Services, and also the Veterinary Medicines Information website. Would you like us to make separate videos about the Register of Clinical Trials or the database of the adverse events? Please leave a comment if you do. Now let's take a look at the bottom of the website. If you click Languages, you will read which information is available in multiple languages. Also, here you can see a link to the glossaries. Let's go there. The Medical Terms Simplifier gives plain language descriptions of medical terms commonly used in information about medicines. You can download it in PDF and only in English. The Glossary of Regulatory Terms helps understand the regulatory terminology used on the website, and it's interactive. You can search the terms and definitions or browse the terms in alphabetical order. For example, if we click on the Accelerated Assessment, We will learn that it is a rapid assessment of medicines in the centralized procedure that are of major interest for public health, especially ones that are therapeutic innovations. And here is the link to a detailed web page about this procedure. Now we will turn to the human regulatory section. You can browse the information by subsections research and development, marketing authorization, and post-authorization. You can also browse the regulatory topics in alphabetic order, or by topics that span the product lifecycle. Let's click on Research and Development. Here on the left you have the page contents, like procedural advice and guidance for medicine development, opportunities to interact with EMA during the development, some related content on the website, info sheet, and a timeline showing the journey of a centrally authorized medicine from lab to the patient. And on the right you have links to different subsections like adaptive pathways, advanced therapy medicines, cancer medicines, clinical trials, compassionate use, compliance, ethical use of animals in medical testing, innovation in medicines, and much more. Let's take a look at medicines for older people. Here you can see a subsection on the left called Improving Product Information. In this subsection, you can see the latest opinions and decisions about how to tailor product information to the needs of older people. It might be useful if your job is to create or revise product information for one of the member states, or if your country's authorities align with the EMA requirements. Also note that the website has lots of cross-references on each page under related content. Another subsection of the research and development that I'd like to show you today is scientific guidelines. This is the place to find guidelines on research and development, such as good clinical practice that provides terminology and descriptions of the studies and procedures. Let's go to the ICH guidelines page. For example, I'll click Quality and then Stability Testing. And we have a list of guidelines for stability testing. Note that the guidelines are only in English and in PDF format. To look for the version in your language, you will have to look for the harmonized national guideline. Again, you have links to the related content. Also, here you can find the list of related guidelines and a link to the official training video on the application of these guidelines. So now let's go back to the list and try the efficacy section. Here we can find the guideline on the structure and content of clinical study reports and the good clinical practice guideline and more documents. Of course, all ICH guidelines can be of use to medical translators and writers, depending on the topic. You can also go to the official ICH website from here. The next section that we'll review in human regulatory is medical devices. Here you will find the links to relevant legislation on Eur-lex. It's a multilingual portal with all the legislation of the European Union. Here is a sneak peek of the website. You can either switch to the version in your target language or switch to a bilingual or trilingual view of the piece of legislation that you're reviewing. Back on the EMA website, under medical devices, you will also find descriptions of the development and regulatory procedures and applications, and guidance on the studies and testing. In the Marketing Authorization section under Human Regulatory, you will find descriptions of the assessments and authorization procedures for human medicines. Let's take a quick look at the related EU legislation. Again, it includes links to the Eur-lex. The second important thing under the Marketing Authorization heading is Product Information Requirements. This section contains product information templates in 26 languages. These are templates of the summary of product characteristics and the patient information leaflet, with the headings and standard wording. You can use them to create a glossary or a translation memory. Here is also a link to the electronic product information. This web page describes a new database available on the Product Lifecycle Management portal. This is the update I mentioned at the beginning. We will take a look at it after one more subsection of marketing authorization. Here you will find detailed information about different application types. And it's important because they can be referenced in various regulatory documents for translation. Those new to the regulatory field might also like this interactive timeline called From Lab to Patient, Journey of a Medicine. It explains all stages from initial research to patient access. It also explains how EMA supports medicine development, assesses the benefits and risks, and how they monitor the safety of medicines. The full text is also available as a PDF booklet. So now back to the Electronic Product Information, or EPI. It's located on a separate website called Product Lifecycle Management Portal. You can also open it from services and databases. A few dozen EPIs have been uploaded there as a pilot project. You need to click on the ID or the View button to open the product information. If only one country is listed here, the EPI will be in one language. If it says European Union, you will find all languages available. You can expand all sections and easily switch between the languages. Unfortunately, the information here is very limited, and I can't wait for this portal to become fully functional. You can also export the information in Word or XML format. The FHIR here stands for Fast Healthcare Interoperability Resources. You can find more information under Guidance and Support at the Product Lifecycle Management portal. And it's a wrap. Look at all the treasures we've found. I hope they will help you provide top quality translations and thrive as a medical translator.